Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about pensions and why your pension isn't going to be there, or you're going to be really disappointed in what you end up getting. And if you don't think this affects you, you're mistaken, because the government is going to end up bailing out the pensions, and the taxpayer is going to be on the hook for it. So once again, the most productive people in society are going to be subsidizing all the least productive people in society. So just to put this in perspective to you, there has been a lot of promises made through pensions to employees in the private sector and employees in the public sector, and especially employees in the public sector. A lot of people are attracted to government positions because they they get promised a pension. They get promised X amount of dollars a month for the rest of their life. But here's the thing: it's not going to be there. And if you're counting on your pension, you need to really revise what you think about finances and your retirement plan, because there's only two ways out. Um, there's the first way, which is the honest way, is if they cut the pensions, which is what's happening right now. There are consultants who are actively, what's the word? Well, they're consulting for corporations on how to cut the pensions, how to get the most back for the corporation, because there's been too many promises made. And the other thing is that the pensions have been mismanaged, so the money's not gonna be there. Number two, and this is the less honest way, is if the government bails out the pensions, because there are big government agencies to bail them out, but they don't have any money. They're broke too, and the government will just print the money to pay the pensions. But it's more inflation, and guess who pays for it? The taxpayer. Um, so both those ways, what will end up happening is you will get a smaller dollar amount in your pension, or the purchasing power of your pension will evaporate. So let's say you're promised $5,000 a month for the rest of your life. $5,000 is it's gonna be less in 25 years than it is now. I heard a stat that 99% of the U.S. dollar's value has been lost to inflation since like 1792 or something like that, since its inception. There's only 1% left, man. And I mean, any metric you look, except for silver, silver's the only thing that has not gone up with inflation. And I'm not giving you financial advice, but silver, man, I think if you have a little bit of money sitting aside, put it into physical silver, because physical silver is very undervalued, and it's going to make people very wealthy. But don't spend money you don't have. Like, don't buy SLV. Physical bullion with a little bit of extra cash that you have sitting around. If you have $30 sitting around, go buy a 1 ounce round. Okay, but this is not financial advice. Back to the pension. Your pension, do not count on it, man, because you are going to be like the vast majority of people in life who they have their blinders on, and they're just going ahead. Oh, the government's going to take care of me. The pension's going to be there. My pension's going to take care of you. My 401k, da da da. It's not going to be there, and there's going to be a lot of people in that for a rude awakening, and the rude awakening is going to come very late in their life, when they're 60 or 70, and they're too frail to work but too poor to quit. And you're the next crisis is going to be a pension crisis, and you're going to have a lot of police officers, a lot of fire department, army, um, whoever gets a pension, and they're going to be hurting financially, and they're going to, like, let's say you're a kid now, but in the future, when you're 40, your parents, they're going to have to move back in with you because they don't have any money, or their pension isn't paying what they thought it would. So do not count on your pension. Get I'm not going to give you financial advice, but you need to diversify your investments, and you need to make sure you have something to fall back on, because man, there's going to be a lot of poor people and a lot of old people who cannot provide for themselves. Um, Yeah, a great source for this is have you guys ever heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad? His name is Robert Kiyosaki. Very informed guy. He knows all about the pension crisis. He has a book called Who Stole My Pension? Get out, read it. Do not count on your pension. And here's another thing I'll tell you, and this is just from personal experience. So I'm in the army, and I have a pension. Um, do I think it's going to be there? No, it's not. It's going to be very shitty. I'm going to be disappointed. I know I am. And I talk to guys at work, and the amount of guys who are just like, oh man, I'm going to go in and do my 25 or 20 or whatever it is and get my pension and I'm going to be good for the rest of my life. They're going to be disappointed. They're going to be very disappointed. And I'm trying to educate people on what is going to happen with their pension because the army is not educating them. I bet you the army doesn't even know about it. The army doesn't know about the coming pension crisis. They don't know that they're really setting people up for failure. Guys are going to spend 25 years or 30 years or whatever in their job, service to their community, and they're gonna get to the end and their pension's not going to be there. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking what's going to happen to them and their kids. And the amount of people out there who have no idea that the pension isn't going to be there is staggering. So, if you know someone who is counting on a pension or, you know, whatever, just share them the video. Let them know because the shit that's coming down the pipe is not good. And it's going to affect everyone. It's going to affect taxpayers. It's going to affect and when it affects taxpayers, it disincentivizes productive people, and which makes the quality of or the standard of living go down for everyone because they're not producing anything. A day will come where the dollar won't buy you anything, and mark my words. Mark my words. You can show them this video. It might be 5 years from now. It might be 50 years from now. I don't know, but you need to be aware. You need to be aware that. Oh, you know what? One more thing I'm gonna add before I end this video. The gross mismanagement of these pensions is out of control. They have people who are in charge of these pensions who have no financial advice or no financial knowledge, and they get on these boards by making a donation, or they're just the smartest person in the office, so they picked them. But these people have no idea. They have no idea about the fees. They have no idea about the investments, about the economy and what's going to happen. And they are just straight up being like, they're almost being negligent. I hear stories of like, presenters going in to present their funds and stuff, and the pension people, the people at the corporation who are in charge of the pension, will be like, hey, can you hurry this up because we have a tea time to go to. And what they're just social events for the like people in the corporations. They get wined and dined, and Wall Street just makes all these fees on it, and they're just straight up stealing hardworking people's money, and it's gonna implode. Because we have too many baby boomers retiring, and it's just going to be a terrible situation. You're going to see a lot of homeless people. You're going to see a lot of people who can't afford to pay their bills, and it's just going to be because of this fucking Ponzi scheme with these pensions, these high fee, high MER. If you don't know what MER means, it means management expense ratio. It's just the percentage that they charge to manage the assets. So like if you have a mutual fund, they're charging you a MER, management expense ratio, and usually about 2%. So what that means is they'll take 2% of the amount that's in the account or in the fund, correction, in the fund. So let's say you have, I don't know, $10,000 in this fund. They're taking $200 per year to manage this fund. And it doesn't matter if the fund goes up or down, they still make 2%. If the fund goes to $9,000, they make $180. If the fund goes to $20,000, they make $400. They're always getting paid. And it's actually a scam because it incentivizes them to sell you the highest fee stuff, like the highest fee funds that make money for the organization, for the brokerage or the bank or whatever. I'm going to tell you a personal story about this, and this doesn't relate to pensions, but it relates to your retirement, because the investment education people get is fucking dog shit. It's terrible. And I used to work in the oil patch, and I was making very good money, and just saving it in my accounts. And I knew that I had to invest it. And so what I did is I took some to the bank, and I said, hey, listen, I need to speak to a financial advisor. And he set me up with some funds. The MER was 2.2% or something, which is very standard for mutual funds. But knowing what I know now, these funds are absolute dog shit. Like, I could have invested in those companies through stocks. The only difference is I wouldn't have had to pay the 2.4% or 2.2% or whatever. And that 2.2%, like, that, it really adds up and it compounds and it takes away your principal. And the knowledge that these financial advisors have at these institutions is absolute dog shit. Like, they are salesmen. I remember one time, once I started managing my own stocks. So what I do is I have some stocks, I have some other investments that are outside the financial system. But I needed to wire a bunch of money from one bank to another, and I had to print out a form. And so I did it at the bank, and I did it with one of these financial advisors. And it was in the midst of this COVID pandemic, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And the stock markets were plunging. And I looked at the guy, I said, it's crazy what's happening in the stock markets. He looked at me and he said, I have no idea what's going on in the stock markets right now. This guy is advising people where to put his money. And he just didn't want to he wasn't looking at the stock markets anymore because they were going down. And the gross incompetence when you just hand over your money to say, hey, can you manage this money for me? The gross incompetence, man, they are just selling you the shit that makes them money. Don't do it. Like, don't. You gotta put your big boy pants on, do the research, and invest in your own stuff. Yeah, but they are just straight up stealing people's money and stealing the fees. And man, they love their fees. It's fucking criminal. And the pension funds are doing the same thing. People who know nothing about money are deciding what they're investing in, and you have no say. And mark my words, at the end of it, 20 years from now, if you're my age, 20 years or 30 years from now when you retire, you're going to be very disappointed with what's there. If you retire in a month, you'd probably be pretty happy because the funds are still, or the pensions are still solvent. But in the future, man, it's going to be very, very, very bad. And it's already starting to be bad. So yeah, do the research, invest your own money, because no one manages your money like you will. Like, no one cares about your investments like you do. And if you have some questions for me, put them in the comments, because I'm not a financial advisor. Like, I don't have accreditation. Do I know some shit? Fuck yeah, I do. Have I made some money during this crisis? Fuck yeah, I have. And I do it from a contrarian point of view. You have to understand, 90% of people they got their fucking blinders on, and they're just going through like, oh, get a job, go to school, get a job, get my fucking my pension or my retirement investment, whatever it is in your country. And they're just getting screwed. They're losing all their money to fees and whatever, and at the end they're going to be very, very disappointed. They're going to be lucky if they break even. They're going to be lucky if they break even in nominal terms, let alone real terms. So anyways, this video's been long enough. If you have any questions, put them in the comment. Once again, thank you for watching. I had my first subscriber the other day. I don't know if it was an accident, if you accidentally click the subscribe button, but thank you very much for subscribing. I don't even know how to look who it is, or like your name or anything. So that just shows you how new I am to this. But thank you very much. Okay, I'm very grateful that someone liked this. So thank you very much. I hope this helps. But yeah, you need to get your money right, because the government is not going to save you. Okay, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.